We covered here at Breaking Points how Howard Schultz, the founder and now former CEO of Starbucks, was compelled to testify in front of the Senate, faced some difficult questions about their just utter lawlessness with regards to union busting, repeated infractions of the law, total lack of willingness to negotiate with the new unionized stores on new contracts. Lo and behold, 2 days later, let's put this up on the screen, Starbucks fired Alexis Rizzo. She was one of the first organizers of the Starbucks union campaign that unfolded initially in Buffalo. They claimed it was over some incredibly minor infractions, like being literally a minute late for work. And we're excited to talk to Alexis now about exactly what is going on there. Alexis, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, I know you worked at Starbucks for more than 7 years, so you're a longtime employee. I also know you were the first, I think, worker to contact the union about starting what has become a historic and groundbreaking union drive. Give us a little bit of your history with the organization, your view of Starbucks, and how that's changed over time.
Yeah, so I've been with the company since I was 17 years old. I started in October of 2015. For me, I grew up very, very impoverished. And so Starbucks was a way for me to become independent, lift myself out of that situation. And in a lot of ways, it's an absolutely great company to work for. Like the relationships that I've made with my coworkers, the bond that I have with them, the presence that we have in our stores and the community, it really is in a lot of ways a wonderful place to work. Unfortunately, and why we started this union campaign, there's a lot of other things that aren't what they seem to be. Howard Schultz, you heard during his Senate testimony, him touting all the wonderful benefits that the company offers and him saying that no one made them do that, that was just something he did out of the goodness of his heart. But in reality, most of my partners don't make enough hours per week to even qualify for those benefits, nor do they make enough money to pay for the health insurance anyway. Most of us choose to take Medicaid or stay on our parents' health insurance as long as we can. The benefits don't mean anything if you're not being scheduled enough hours to qualify for them. If the staffing of the stores is so sporadic, it's never consistent. 1 week you're getting 8 hours, the next you're getting 20. It's impossible to maintain that work-life balance. And we don't have a voice in the workplace. That's why in 2021, we decided that the best bet for us would be to try to organize a union campaign. I had been in contact with one of the organizers from Workers United for a few years prior, before the pandemic. And at some point, I was contacted in 2021, and we decided that that was the right time to try to organize Starbucks.
Got it. And so then in the circumstances of your firing, what are some of the excuses they tried to come up with to try and separate you from the company in retaliation?
Yeah, so we have to take a little bit of a step back to the beginning of the union campaign. When Starbucks first found out that we were trying to organize, we sent our letter to Kevin Johnson. They flooded Buffalo with dozens and dozens of support managers, members of corporate. They fired all of our management. My store manager was fired. My district manager was fired. The acting district manager at the time came in and put me on a written warning for some bogus time and attendance violations that she had found in my punches. And it's kind of gone on from there. It's been many years of psychological warfare. And I knew that they were going to fire me at some point. When I saw them fire Sam Amato, who's a 13-year partner here in Buffalo, who I've worked with many, many times. And he's everything you could possibly ask for an employee. He's incredible at his job. They fired him for the silliest reason that I've ever heard. And I knew that they were going to come for me too, as well as all the other union leaders. So I wish I could say I was surprised. But they changed my schedule, so I was closing every night, opening the next morning, every weekend, and denied all my availability requests that I put in to try to change the situation. And they ended up firing me for being 1 minute late to work twice, 4 minutes late to work another time, 5 minutes late to anything that they could find. It's just been a witch hunt, essentially, for us.
It's outrageous. I know previously some of the workers that they had fired, they were able to go through legal process and be reinstated. Do you have any potential legal recourse, and are you pursuing it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to be fighting to get reinstated back with the company. It's no doubt to myself or any of my other store partners that this was just an act of retaliation. I mean, the same time and attendance violations that they separated me for are committed to a much greater extent by other folks, but The only two people in my store that have been delivered any kind of discipline since 2021 are myself and the other shift supervisor that I work with that helped me start the union campaign at my store.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think that's
Have you been able to maintain morale at the store? Because as I mentioned, none of the, what is it, like 300 stores now that have voted to form a union, not a one of them has a contract. Meanwhile, it's not just direct retaliation against worker organizers such as yourself. There's also, you know, this whole two-tiered benefit system where they rolled out certain perks and benefits to non-union stores, something, again, that I believe, based on labor law, is illegal and that Howard Schultz was sharply questioned over. Have you been able, in the face of all of that, to maintain morale and commitment to the union at your own store location?
Yeah. Like I was saying before, it's not the benefits that keep us with the company for all these years, it's each other. And we really do have that strong collective bond together where we know it's not the union's fault. We know that it's the company doing this to us because they do not want us to be able to express our right to organize. I mean, here in Buffalo, there was an over 200-page decision where the company was charged and convicted of hundreds of violations of federal labor law. So at this point, we're just trying to remain strong in the face of them so brazenly breaking the law. My disciplines that I had received previously were actually deemed illegal by the judge in that decision and ordered to be discarded. And the company chose to separate me anyway. So it's just total disrespect for the NLRB. And so keeping the store together is really a matter of realizing that we're in an unprecedented situation, that none of us knew that our company was going to respond so violently with so little regard for the law. We didn't know they were going to withhold our benefits, but it's just galvanizing us to stay together and stay strong and fight for what we deserve and what we're legally obligated to under the laws of the country.
Absolutely.
Even if our doesn't respect those laws, they still exist.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's always important to underscore it's a company that holds itself out as supposedly progressive. We see in their actions something quite different here. Finally, Alexis, what is your message to any politicians, either at the state or federal level, or even the President of the United States, in terms of what they could do to make it so that future worker organizers such as yourself don't face this dire landscape?
Yeah, I mean, and the way that things stand currently, the company has been able somehow to wage a years-long battle of psychological warfare on these part-time hourly employees who are simply trying to exercise their right to organize a union. This is the foundation of what our country is built upon. This is why we have what we have today. It's disgusting. And the fact that our labor law has been eroded to such a point that this is allowed to happen, that the NLRB doesn't have the funding that they need to protect us, that's the real problem. We do need help. It's not just Starbucks Workers United, it's any young people who are trying to organize their workplace. We want to fight for something better, and we need help to have the power to be able to do so. Like, we can make this a better place.
Absolutely. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for taking the time. And please keep us updated and let us know if there's any way that we can be helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.